I love this area, guys. It's a great little area. Definitely worth exploring, prospecting. Alrighty, guys. So Sasquatch Prospector here. We're heading east to Princeton, Hedley Wagon Road, Carameus Hedley Wagon Road, guys. So we're currently on the Crow's Nest. Over that way is Old Hedley Road, just where I'm pointing right there. That's Old Hedley Road. The original wagon road, guys, to get basically from Princeton to Hedley to Carameus. And gold, guys, gold in Hedley, hard rock gold, lode gold. We got the nickel plate, the Mascot. I did a video on Hedley, so make sure you check that video out, all about the museum, the general history of the town. We're gonna go to a lesser known area with regards to ore and mining, the South Okanagan Highlands, guys. So that would be Carameus, Olalla, Fairview, Oliver, Okanagan Falls, Mount Orofino. That's our kind of mountain of note, the big mountain full of gold. We're gonna basically do a tour of the gold district. We're gonna talk all about the towns. Back in the day, you would have followed this road from Princeton. You would have been in Kamloops. You would have come down what is now the 5A, the wagon road from Kamloops to Princeton. And then in Princeton, you could go a whole bunch of different ways, depending on which way you needed to go. But there was a wagon road that ran from Princeton to Hedley to Carameus. Old Hedley Road, it's called. Following the Dewdney Trail, guys. The Crow's Nest, 80% of it is the Dewdney Trail. So we're just weaving along the Dewdney Trail. That's the Similkameen River, guys. There's lots of gold in the Similkameen River. Same thing, that whole drive coming down from Copper Mountain, the Similkameen Valley there. All gold claims, South Friday Creek, all that. So the South Okanagan Highlands are interesting. Desert, guys. And obviously for you Americans down south there, probably you wouldn't really think it's a desert. It doesn't meet the exact specifications, like it's a certain amount of precipitation per year that is the criteria for a desert. But it's just about there, guys. It's 50, 100 mils off. It's very dry. There's rattlesnakes here. There's sagebrush. There's antelope brush. There's prickly pear cactus. It's got a whole desert climate, guys. The Osoyoos Desert Center and the Nikmip Desert Center as well in Osoyoos. Check those out if you want to know more about like antelope brush, sagebrush, all the stuff in the desert. Definitely check that out. The two animals of note that we have to watch for on this trip would be rattlesnakes, because we're going to be walking around in the sagebrush around Fairview and all that, up in the mountains in the bush. So always be really careful, especially this time of year, guys, like late spring, early summer. Rattlers out everywhere, rattlesnakes all over the place. So when you're picking up rocks, prospecting, right, or you're walking in areas, just be really, really careful, guys, because there's lots of rattlesnakes. It's that time of year. And black widow spiders would be the other one. That's not really as much of a thing to note, but still important, like if you're camping in the desert and you get spiders in your tent. But the South Okanagan Highlands is an interesting one. It's a lesser known region. When we talk about gold trails and ghost towns kind of stuff, you wouldn't think of Oliver or Carameus as being a place that was a big hub for gold back in the day. But there's a few clues lying around. One of the biggest indicators for gold, so if gold has been found in some area, you can pretty much kind of assume that around that area, there's also gold. The old saying, gold is where you find it. That's quite literally like, if you find gold, you got to fan out and prospect more because there's probably more gold. Basically, South Okanagan Highlands had 3 towns of note: Carameus, Olalla, and Fairview. Fairview was an old mining camp set up by One Arm Reed. That was his name. He was a placer miner, prospector. He was searching 1887, searching for placer gold. And then he came across some hard rock gold, but he didn't stake it or anything. He just kept on going. It kind of sat there for a year, and then 2 prospectors came in, staked it, and that kind of begun the whole thing. Because the other thing, too, you got to realize, guys, is when you're staking a claim, it's hard to keep a secret just because you're excited and you want to tell people. But the other thing about it is, like, if you stake a claim in a brand new area that's unknown, when you go to the office, the claims office, right? Like back in the day, you went to the office, now you do it online. When you went to the claims office to submit your claim and stake it, you would end up telling everybody where it was just because by virtue of staking it and recording it. And so then, the guys in the office find out, then they go tell everybody, and then all of a sudden the whole town knows. So then there was a big gold rush on Fairview. So Fairview became a huge town. Not much there, guys. You'll see when we go to Fairview, there's not really much there. The big teepee It's what they called the Fairview Hotel. It was a gorgeous old hotel, guys. Absolutely magnificent. The Fairview Hotel, it burned down. So that's, you know, typical of the old ghost towns. The jail from Fairview was actually moved down into Oliver, British Columbia, in the Okanagan there. So you go to the museum in Oliver and you can see the Fairview jail. But the old town site at Fairview is basically non-existent now, guys. We're heading down the Similkameen Valley and we're gonna pass Hedley, the nickel plate, the Mascot mine, the French mine, all kinds of mines in that area, hard rock gold, hundreds of kilometers of tunnels, guys, between all the mines. Stamp mills in Hedley, that was a huge thing. You can see the remains of the stamp mill. But this is the Similkameen River, and then that's Old Hedley Road on the other side. So you can either take one or the other. The Crow's Nest is obviously the faster route. Old Hedley Road's windy, on the road to the South Okanagan Highlands. Okay guys, so here we are, Hedley. This is kind of the start of the hard load ore, guys. Like I was saying, they found gold in Hedley, and then basically what you can deduce from that is that if gold's over here, then these mountains, all along this ridge here, these mountains going up that way, there must be gold, right? They were looking over here, up there. This is where all the big mining was. Those striations up there, those are called striations. That indicates glacial activity. The scratch marks from the glacier scraping against the rock, that'll indicate the fact that a glacier was in this valley at some point and then is no longer here because it's 25 degrees outside and it's middle of summer and it's awesome and I love it here. But that also indicates placer gold, because glaciers are how placer gold can get moved from like a far away location to a like kind of a seemingly random location. So we gotta do the sign, do the old sign. I think I've done this before, but do it again just for the context. Nestled between Stemwinder and Nickel Plate Mountains, the historic gold mining town of Hedley sprang up shortly after the yellow precious metal was discovered here in 1897. The town was named after Robert R. Hedley, mining engineer. Both the mountaintop, Hedley, Mascot, and Nickel Plate mines extracted millions worth of gold, silver, and copper before they finally closed in the 1950s after the ore body was exhausted. Today, tourism brings new life to the town that is famous for gold. This is the Similkameen, guys. I love this area, guys. This is a great little area. Definitely worth exploring, prospecting. Just about to come into Karamias, so we're going to begin our Orofino Mountain tour. We're going to go all the way around the mountain. We're going to go up to 3A, Olalla, Willowbrook, over down to Fairview, and then we're going to take Fairview Road up around the mountain up to the summit and then down and join the 3 again. Karamias, farming, ranching town, mainly lots of fruit. You can see prime ranch land, but Karamias did have a bit of gold. It initially was Upper Karamias. Basically, Upper Karamias was that was the first settlement, and that was a little bit away from the river. But then they realized, just because of how dry and hot it is here, well, we got to build closer to the river. It's nice and hot, it's in the valley, fruit grows really well here. So Orofino Mountain, guys, straight ahead of us, that's where we're gonna head, into that area. We're gonna talk all about Orofino Mountain, the gold occurrences. There's like 3 main gold occurrences and then several other gold occurrences. When I say occurrence, it's a geological combination of like host rock, like, you know, the mountain rock, and then the quartz veins. We're gonna merge with the 3A in a bit. We're gonna go up to Olalla and talk about Olalla. Olalla was one of the towns, guys. It was one of the mining towns that basically helped the miners. Miners needed places to go get supplies and get booze, more importantly, especially in mining. Okay, yeah, this is it, yep. They needed supplies, so that was Olalla, guys. Olalla was it, and then from there, from Olalla, you could either go to OK Falls, then Penticton, or come down to Karamias. By OK Falls, guys, I'm alluding to Okanagan Falls. That was actually submerged when they dammed it. We're going around Karamias right now, so this is Karamias. This is the Great Northern Railway Trail. That's a whole nother video. James Jerome Hill, the Great Northern. It snakes all around here, guys. Competing with the CPR, James Jerome Hill. He was a Canadian railroad magnate, but ran American Railways because he got cut out by the CPR. But anyways, you can see, look at all the orchards and fruit. Great place to come in the summertime, guys. Depends on what time of year you're coming, but you can get a lot of really good produce, veggies, fruit, garlic, herbs and stuff like that as well. Lots of good stuff in Carameus. This is a good fruit stand, SS Produce, they're good. The peak of Orofino Mountain is where the occurrence is, guys. It means Saskatoon berry in Chinook. It comes from Olalla, which is Chinook. Chinook is a mix of native languages and English, right? So Chinook, basically. It means Saskatoon berry, guys. Saskatoon berries are great. I love Saskatoon berries. There's not much here now. There's a few houses, couple little stores. I don't even think that. Maybe like a general store or something. So this is Olalla, guys. Right up on the mountain here on the side. That's where gold would have been. So we're going to circle the mountain. We're going to go all the way in a circle, the old mining camp, and then go up to the Fairview Road. It's in the valley, so it's a perfect little area to build a town site. There's an old house over there, rolling hills, really pretty. It's a very interesting region because as we head closer towards Willowbrook, you got all these salt lakes, guys. There's lots of salt lakes here, so it'll be interesting to see if we can see any of those. You definitely see them near Drow. We're coming up on the Drow, the Dominion Astrophysical Observatory. That's a whole nother thing to talk about at some point. The occurrences in Orofino Mountain, guys, are away from Carameus, more towards Fairview side. So Carameus was like the big town of note, you know, that was connected to the wagon road. And then Olalla, this road, this would take you up to Penticton, Olalla on the way, OK Falls next, right? And then you're down in the Sternwheelers through the Okanagan. A lot of the gold occurrences, not all, but most of the gold occurrences, when you're prospecting on a mountain, you want the center of the peak, guys. The top of the peak, the center of the mountain. Anywhere from 1 to 5 kilometers north of the peak and about 12 to 15 or 16 kilometers northeast of Carameus is where the ore bodies are. You can always find the coordinates online, guys. Mine file, they'll tell you the coordinates of like where the coordinates for these mines are. Basically what they were looking for here was hard rock gold. One-armed Reed, 1887, he came around looking for placer gold, prospected Reed Creek Gulch. That's all in Fairview. And then he just kind of moved on. He didn't find any placer gold. We're about to come into a whole bunch of salt lakes because a lot of the lakes here, they don't have a lot of fresh water. Like they don't have a water supply. So the rainfall will come, fill up the lake, and then it gets super saturated in salt and all the water evaporates. And then you get these big salt beds. It's nothing like in Utah, like the Great Salt Lake or anything like that. But there are these little baby mini salt lakes, which is pretty cool. That was Olalla, guys. It's a big town back in the day. It was the center for it all up here. And then Fairview is on the other side. So on this side of the mountain, you've got Olalla. And on the other side, you've got Fairview. And then you've got Carameus down in the valley, which is how you connect to everything. And then Okanagan Falls up in the Okanagan. The problem with prospecting around here, guys, unless you get ropes and you do cliff hanging kind of stuff, is there's lots of overburden and lots of trees. So there's not too many exposed rock outcrops. But anytime you see a rock outcropping, you want to make sure that you're checking for fractures, faults. Fractures, good thing, guys. If the rock isn't fractured, it could have gold in it for other reasons, like the actual rock itself might have gold in it, which is a thing. When you come into looking for quartz veins, mining quartz, you need fractures because just think of quartz as hydrothermal fluid. It's silicon dioxide, basically. It's a combination of silicon and oxygen. It doesn't solidify. It has a really high temperature at which it solidifies, so everything else will solidify before quartz. So quartz can trap gold, copper, silver, pyrite, all of these things. Pyrite, as much as it's called fool's gold, it's not a bad thing, guys. Don't shy away from pyrite. If you're getting pyrite, you could be right on the gold, guys. It's a good indicator. Everything travels together. But you can see there was a forest fire here, or a series of forest fires. Bill Barley tells a story back in the day of, one of his old treasure stories about, 2 tins of gold that were buried somewhere up on the mountain, right near the road. But it was a forest fire, so it's been all burned over. When the bush gets burned over, guys, your point of reference for everything is completely changed. It's all green and nice here now, but if this was to get burnt or something, I'd be all confused. You wouldn't know where you're going. Once we come into like Willowbrook area, that's where we're gonna have all the salt lakes and stuff. But we're in the desert now, guys. This is an extension of the Great North American Desert. So the Great Basin, this is kind of the Canadian version of the Great Basin. We got some basalt columns too. That's another thing going on here. What is this yellow lake? Oh yeah, there was a big rock slide here a couple weeks ago. Wiped it out. I remember that. It was in the news, closed it down. So it's open again, guys. Thanks to the road guys. You road maintenance guys are awesome. Always be watching the tops, guys. Like I said, from here, you're not going to be able to see much. But when you're walking the mountain, guys, be looking for ledges. That's what you want. You want to find like a ledge and different colors of rock, and where different colors of rock are meeting. It's definitely worth looking, guys. You never know. But there's a whole bunch of different things to consider. Okay, so Twin Lakes Road. The Twin Lakes mine. Twin Lakes gold occurrence. That's one of the gold occurrences we're talking about, guys. So let's take the turn. Okay, so there's obviously 2 lakes here. The Twin Lakes Golf Course. This is a really nice area, guys. I love coming down here. Deer. Lots of deer here, too. Almost hit a deer on the highway coming down into Princeton. You can't see them. They're fawn colored, right? So they blend in with the bush. And they'll just run across the road, right? When you're doing 100, I had to honk. I have full brakes, guys. Honk. Like, say, you honk at them to get them out of the way. Even still, it was not nice. I had a motorcycle behind me, which was really not okay or good at all. Yeah, but this is Twin Lakes. So you can kind of see up on the mountain, guys, where you'd be prospecting. This is actually a good little area for that. But the gold occurrences are all Orofino Mountain, guys. But this is the area of Twin Lakes. This is a nice area. Very arid, very dry. Lots of cattle, though. You can see cattle territory. There's a one salt lake that will pass. It's really cool looking. You can see little rock outcrops, guys. You see how there's lots of overburden? So they would have been prospecting all around these hills. All the sagebrush here. That's awesome. I love this. I love the Okanagan, guys. Okanagan's a great area. Everybody always says there's no gold in the Okanagan, which is, for the most part, true. But there is a little bit, guys. There's little tiny chunks, little pieces. Take what you can get, right? Especially when it comes to gold. Especially nowadays. But yeah, gorgeous day to do this. That's the Salt Lake there. So you can see how it's all deserty, kind of sagebrushy. It's not really evaporated yet. You can see the salt starting to form on the outside, the rim of the lake. So we just passed Drow, the Dominion Radial Astrophysical Observatory. So anyways, guys, if you like this, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified, leave a comment, and Sasquatch Prospector out.